guys, what's happening? It's Ike from Flipside Music, and welcome to What the F.A.Q, episode 35, season 3. Super exciting. Yeah.
Saturday, September.
Yep, Saturday in September, and I'm here, as always, with
Dylan.
Darion. And weekly question and answer show. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we actually got quite a few questions this week, which was kind of nice.
Well, let's knock this out, because we got
we'll do the
ton of stuff to do.
The flash questions.
Right.
Nothing here. Asks, inspired by the Reverend Sensei Jr. that you mentioned last week, what's your favorite stock single pickup guitar?
Ooh. I mean, probably like an Esquire. It's going to be mine, sure, certainly.
Oh, that's a good pick. Damn it.
I mean, what else am I going to pick? Really?
Well, I mean, to me, like, I do actually really like Juniors, and even like those Hamer versions of the Juniors were pretty cool.
That's true. Or the Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. Well, yes.
You know, single, or a Charvel or Super Strat with just a.
Well, yeah, that would be
with a rockin' pickup in it would be.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, it depends. I mean, it's. I've never given like the. That's probably somewhere I actually do need to go is the P90, the single P90 thing.
Well, Fender's got the Noventa single P90 Telecaster. We've sold a few of them. They're pretty rocking. Big John's got one. If you're watching, let people know how you like it. I think it sounds great.
Yeah, I was just I'd like to know because actually I don't think I got to play that one before it left. Do we still have one?
Yeah, we got one left. Okay. I think we got one.
Well, then
I think we got one
try
left.
It later today. Then.
I'm a big fan of the P90, obviously. So
yeah, honestly, like from what you were telling me with your noiseless P90s, I was kind of interested in that because like if you could still get that P90 character without that, because I feel like the intensity on a P90 in terms of that hum, especially with the pedals I use, it would be bad. Like that would be overwhelming amount of hum.
Yeah, so I got a set of the Mojo Tone noiseless, and they're really good. I mean, they're not super cheap, but I like them. I got them in a Tele Deluxe, and very happy.
Yeah.
Nice bluesy sounds and crunchy bits, easy toppy type stuff. Rock stuff is great, so nice clarity.
That's actually, Speaking of that, though, too, I feel like that would be a fun guitar, would be just like a Les Paul with just a single, like, pearly gates in the bridge. It would be dumb and weird, but it'd be kind of fun.
They got them.
Yeah, just like a single,
Jared James Michaels? I don't know.
Oh, the gold top dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I watched that and he's like, Wah! All the faces and everything and long hair, and people are like,
the guy that plays,
he's great!
Just with his fingers, right? He doesn't do the pick stuff.
I don't remember.
I think that's him.
But people are like, oh my God, he's great. It's like, that's all blues stuff. Like, all you guys that bitch about blues stuff, I'm like, you realize he's just doing that with the gain, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Gain, and he even does the stink face, so, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's a cool guitar. I would go after it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Professor Chaos asks, overlooked gear you guys have in the shop. I got one. Sorry. I'm like right out the gate.
No, that's good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm trying to think because I feel like there's a few, but...
Overlooked gear that we have in the shop that I don't think people try enough or give enough credit to is the Boss Next Tone amplifiers.
Oh, okay.
So...
Why would that be, Ike?
Are you going to explain it to us, Ike? Absolutely. So, you got the Boss Katana, which everybody likes. Some people don't. Whatever. I like it. I got one. I think it's great.
Yeah, I love the Katanas.
And it's, more effects-based kind of amplifier. Right. That's what
it's more of an exploratory amp.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome. The Next Tone is more designed for amplifier flavors, if you will.
Right.
EL84s, 34s, 6L6, 6V6.
Your tube enthusiasts.
Right. So it's more of an amp-based amp.
Right.
So if you like pedals, but you like to, you like a more of a Marshall sound, you can kind of get more of a Marshall amp sound out of the Next Tone. Or if you like some of the, Fender-y type tones, you can kind of dial that in. That's really where the Next Tone shines. And then they also have a thing, not Tone Studio, but similar, where you can go in and kind of mess around, get a little sag out of something if you need it, this and that and the other. So I think that's one for me, because I played them and I'm like, I think they sound really good. they just don't get enough love and they're more expensive, obviously, than the Katana.
Yeah.
So they don't get as much love. And I think if you like more of an amp-based thing, you certainly should check them out. So that's my pick.
No, it's a really good
I gave
pick.
you enough time to formulate your own.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. Honestly, yeah, like there's I don't know. There is a lot. That is a really good one, and for good reason. That's tough. Because I mean, I guess I don't know, like as a whole, if the captor stuff is under overlooked or not. But I feel like we don't get as much like people coming in just for that as I thought we would, which is fine. I mean, we'll probably build up to that. But I do feel like the captor, like right now, when you do compare it to like the aux box, is, you know, at least to me, bang for the buck is pretty damn amazing.
Wazacraft tube expander is another one that
right.
I feel like is overlooked by the aux box.
Well, yes, because it sits
not to be.
No, it's like right in the middle of the two, though. Yeah.
This F.A.Q is not sponsored by Boss. Any information disseminated through them.
Well, and actually now we can actually talk about the SY200 because apparently there's some demos out there now.
Yeah, there's some stuff.
So yeah, so that was the pedal we were talking about in a couple episodes back when people were asking us like new gear we were most interested in.
Yeah.
That one's definitely up there. But yeah, in terms of overlooked gear, I was actually going to go, I think we've probably done it before, but I was going to go full on companies. I think Mojo Hand and Cusack as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Are just over.
Yeah,
I don't see them on nearly enough people's boards, and often when I give people their pedals to try, they do end up liking them and taking them. But it's one of those things of like, I don't know if I've ever met anybody that came in here and went, "Hey, do you guys have some Mojo Hand?" Like, I don't know if ever
Cusack,
right?
Which, and if you guys don't know, go back and look for about John Cusack. I mean, he was basically one of the pillars,
right,
of the whole boutique amp or boutique pedal thing back in the day. So like the dude knows what he's doing. Super smart guy. He knows his stuff. The pedals sound great.
Yeah, I mean like stuff like tap tempo trems, tap tempo choruses, tap tempo univibes, all that stuff wouldn't exist without some of the stuff that he did prior. So yeah, those two companies alone are worth checking out, and I don't feel like nobody comes in and asks specifically for those. So, and
he's collaborated with a lot of companies that you guys may have known, and then that company has actually done really well with their product.
Right.
It's like
that's happened a lot.
Yeah, it's actually happened a pretty fair amount for him.
Yes,
I think isn't the Angry Charlie? Isn't that one?
Well, no, the basically all the tap tempo things that JHS does that are in like the chorus and tap and tremolo, univibe, all that stuff, basically all goes back to the tap tempo trem from Cusack, which was the Tap-A-Whirl, and so that one all of it goes back to that. And without that pedal,
sorry, I got to move back. There's a light right there.
Oh,
every time I look at him,
okay. Yeah. Well, no, it's funny because every time, that one's,
I can't see.
We got to get more of the up thing, so we're not looking right into them. But anyway,
I'm dying, man.
But yeah, I was gonna say a lot of that stuff wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for his stuff. And honestly, John is not nearly as old as I feel like people. He's like this pedal wizard, but he's not that old. Yeah. I think it's interesting because it's
I think he's younger than me.
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
around the same age as me.
Yeah, but it was surprising how many things he had a hand in so early on. At least to me, it was a surprise. So.
Well, he's very technical. He also does a lot of machinery components that are circuit board based and a lot of that. So dude, it's not like, hey, look at me, I made a fuzz.
Right.
It's like,
he knows about the manufacturing side of things
and and circuit boards and all sorts of mechanical and electrical things. So it's like, dude knows his shit
for sure.
All right, moving on. Ben Coombs asks the next question. Ben Coombs is our preferred Canadian YouTuber, so go check him out. He says, "What's your favorite style of reverb? Spring, hall, plate?"
I would imagine that it would keep going. There's no dot, but I would imagine for me. If we're gonna go with those three, definitely plate, because I think plate can do both a good spring and pretty much a good hall. So to me, plate covers both. But
I'm going spring. I like spring, but I see what you're saying with the plate. You can do
because at the end of the day, the plates are just basically giant spring reverb. Yeah,
without the spring.
Right. Yeah, they're giant plates. But to me, they have a, especially if you play anything with gain, experiment with plate. overdrives, or plate reverbs, I don't know why I said that. Plate reverbs, because they tend to, you get a little breakup out of a lot of the ones that are out there, so I feel like because spring reverbs always have that little, like, dip and come back kind of feel to them. Mm-hmm. They always have that kind of squish. Whereas, like, the plate reverbs, all of it kind of just becomes one thing. Because the reverb is distorting just a little bit, so it all just kind of blends into this nice sound. And it's one of those things, like, you can have a little bit of it on, and you'll really miss it if you turn it off. Like, you don't have to go crazy with plate reverb.
Well, I'm not a huge, I'm not a huge ambient reverb guy anyway. Yeah. I needed just enough to kind of just weten it up a little bit, make it feel...
Like a bigger room.
Make everything feel a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Well, and to me, like, reverbs are also great to just be there so that when you do hit a delay, your delay has a little bit of space to kind of go back into. Because, like, delays to me, when they just kind of drop off, it's weird because it's not, like in a real space, when you hear an echo, you hear it naturally kind of drop off within the room. And I feel like delay and reverb together actually accomplish more of that in the room feeling.
I can agree with that. Yeah. I can see that. All right, moving on.
Charles75N says, gentlemen, any experience with a Fender Princeton 650? Any thoughts on it? I have not played that. I don't know if you have.
No. Well,
sorry, Charles.
Sorry, buddy. We got no. You stumped us.
Yeah, you're out of luck, Chuck.
Yeah, it's just not one that I've got a lot of experience that I can speak to.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
I'm like, usually
we don't have
something. I just don't. We're gonna have to look into that. Yeah, we'll have to look into it. All right.
Terry 3Gs asks, when the new location opens, is there any special product that you'll launch when the doors open at the new place? That's a good question.
Is there gonna be anything special? I don't know. Well, here's the problem. It's so up in the air right now.
Yes, that it's hard to
coordinate anything. And we've been busy and trying to have the busy shop and then trying to get this new shop together. I don't know that we're going to put anything... And plus, with shortages everywhere, I don't know if we're going to try to do any special run of anything. There might be something. Like, we might do something that we can control. Like, hey, maybe we'll do a special run of shirts, like, opening weekend shirt.
Now that we're going to be near a river, we should do, like, river monster themed stuff.
Should we do river dance type theme stuff?
Sure.
We could do that.
Yeah. No, that would be kind of fun, though, yes.
Hey, look. Wow. It's another guy taking a shit in the river.
Yeah.
Thanks, Denver.
It's like a dude with, like, a catfish hat on.
You'd be amazed at some of the stuff that we see.
Well, yeah, in the city, yeah. Especially actually around here, because everybody's a little more relaxed than that is, like, right up in the core part of the city. Yeah. But I feel like you get weird, like, city stuff down here, too. So it's like
we're not... the city's right there.
It's not like we're not that far, but we're not, like, in the middle of downtown or anything.
Yeah, we're not in downtown, but we're...
Right. We're on the Dune Tune of Dune Tune.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going Dune the China Tune.
All right, last question, Mr. James.
Quentin James. Quentin effing James says, how do you handle rude customers? Kill them with kindness. Be rude to them back. Take them behind the building and teach them a lesson. Well, number 3 is what we would like to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, for the most part, first and foremost, we get pretty cool customers. We don't have a lot of dickheads that come in.
We don't have a high, like, compared to, like, the food industry or anything else like that, we do not have that bad a cut. Like, that is not nearly as bad. If anything, it's more just, like, certain customers that I feel like get nervous and everybody has different ways of being nervous. That's what I'm trying to equate it to, because to me, that's just an easier way to think about it, that some people get a little more... agitated when they're nervous, and then other people get a little more withdrawn when they're nervous. So it's kind of, we get those varieties, but...
Yeah, we don't get, like I said, we don't get a lot of rude customers. We do get sometimes, I think the people that aggravate us the most are the, like, arrogant guys that think that their shit is so much better, or it has to be this, I only play American Ultra, so...
Well, that, or, like, I actually...
like, it has to be...
Well, I don't always really appreciate like the gear dudes that come in, and like especially when there's younger kids that are in here that like are just starting out, don't have a lot of stuff, and they come in here and they always have to say, oh, well, I have this, and they always whip out their phone and they show these, they show everybody, oh, you gotta look at all this stuff,
all their high
and it's like
shit.
Yeah, like to me, like I know a lot of people wouldn't maybe feel like they're being rude by doing that, but like when you have kids that don't have shit and then you're saying all this stuff that you're basically shitting on the stuff that they probably have,
right?
Like that's a bad vibe, and like that part I don't appreciate, because we do actually get that fairly often.
And I think we try to set the stage as far as how we deal with people,
right?
Or like we try to make the store friendly, and it's not like we're not hard selling anything. No. It's just a friendly, authentic store. We care about gear because we like gear, so we want to help you find what it is you want to find. And I think that does put people's guards down a little bit. So even people that may be rude, that we're not giving them an excuse to be rude because we're not being rude. So I guess it would kind of be in the vein of kill them with kindness kind of thing.
Yeah, but you're right. No, we do kind of end up heading off a lot of it at the pass. Like, especially because like you'd be surprised at how quickly people like change their whole aspect, especially in like if they come in with a budget in mind and you come in under that budget. Like if you can do that for people, a lot of them are just like happy as could be, because then they're getting what they want, they're getting it cheaper, and then
go get something nice and have a burrito.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't really get much better than that. And so a lot of people, I feel like generally, because we don't ever really upsell anybody. It's always usually the not the downsell. I don't want to say that, but we usually try to figure out the best thing that would do what they're asking for within the budget, not above the budget.
Right. And I don't think we always upsell, but we do ask if they need a thing that goes along with it.
Oh, so, for sure. Yeah.
Like if you buy a guitar and it doesn't come with a case, well, do you want a case or a gig bag? We're not going to try to sell you the most expensive case or the most expensive gig bag. But are you going to need to get this thing around?
Well, that and patch cables for pedals, power supplies, like the things that you might not have thought of when, especially if you're just getting started or something. Right. That we run into that. And I'm sure that, people probably, but if you don't know, you don't know. Like,
right, and we've had that situation where people have bought something and more early on when we were dealing with customers, we didn't suggest it. Because we would just assume that, they already thought about a power supply, or they already thought about a patch cable, and then they'd be back in an hour going, oh man, I need a patch cable. Right. So now it's a suggestion just to double check to make sure that they're covered with that kind of stuff.
Right.
And thing like that. Now, back to the rude customer thing. So I guess that's really what it comes down to.
If anything, it's the online, like the ones that we don't get to talk to in person.
More rude.
Yeah.
That is a for sure thing, that people that are online are way more rude and way more demanding than anybody that comes in the store. Yeah. Because they, in their minds, I think, they've created this scenario of goofy, shitty little music store with a bunch of dickheads in it.
Well, I also feel like there's this weird thing that's carried on from like generation to generation or something, that like there's these people that have nothing but time to scheme to like screw you over. Yeah, right? like really that part kind of blows me away, because usually like anybody who's been a part of a small business, I'm sure, knows you don't have time to do those things. Like you don't have time to come up with crazy elaborate plans and execute them on some dude out in the middle of Oregon somewhere.
Yeah, so we can make $30.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. So
we've had more. I would say there's more, because people in person aren't going to say what they say to you when they email you.
Yeah, it's like the car thing. Like I feel like people are way more rude in cars than they ever would be to your face. Generally.
Not to us either. I mean,
yeah. That's true too.
I'm 6'1", he's 6'2", combined weight of almost 600 pounds.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily the people you're going to stick your finger in the face and be that rude to us. Plus, I worked in a restaurant and bar business for 22 years. I'm really, really good at that shit.
You are, yeah.
So, I mean, we've had it. We've had to deal with people that are unruly, and then and even when we deal with it online, like through emails.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to pick up the phone. I'm old school. I will pick up the phone and call you.
Right.
And that's a different thing. When all of a sudden I'm calling from your rude email, and we're gonna figure out what the problem is and what the issue is.
Right.
And a lot of times, folks have just they've crafted this elaborate scheme that somehow we were trying to screw him over with it. Oh, this was a used thing. No, man, we literally pulled it off the shelf and sent it. Right. You found the one scratch that somebody at the factory put on it underneath the rubber, and we did that to. Right. We should just start writing a book about this shit. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, it is kind of like the insurance commercials. Like, yeah, I mean. Like
we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Yeah, it's like if we actually did do.
We are farmers.
Well, I was gonna say we should actually start trying to figure out commercials in that vein or something, or not commercials, but even just videos, because honestly, it would be like some of the stuff that has come up with that in the online scenarios.
Yeah, the real
far
world,
more. Yeah, like exactly.
If this happened in real life, like
right.
I should go back and find some of those rude emails from Reverb,
right?
Or the guy. I can't tell you how many times we've had people purchase something and like we get it done, ship it out, and then they cancel for some oddball reason, or we go round and round and round and round on emails or messages, and then they buy it, and an hour later they cancel it.
Right. Yeah.
Or so much crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Anyway, I think the answer is more of the kill 'em with kindness. That doesn't mean we don't have a shovel in the back just in case.
That, or I mean, I feel like over the years,
just in case things got to get done. Every now and again, hey Dylan, you got to go dust off the shovel. Yeah. I'll bring the van tomorrow.
Yeah. Make sure you get all the hairs off of it this time.
Yeah. I'll bring the van tomorrow. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I think you know, with your experience, you are a lot better at dealing with a lot of that shit. So I feel like now that I've seen enough of it, I'm 10 times better at dealing with it than I was. Because like now, when you have seen it, it's it is kind of like driving or something. Like when you've seen a scenario before, you can react in a completely different way than when you do it the first time. Yeah. Because like when you do it the first time, I feel like, and it probably goes this way for the customers too, it's purely reactionary. You're just kind of reacting to what's going on and the whatever the vibe is. If somebody comes in hot, like sometimes you'll get a hotter response, I think. Right. And so it's like,
or you could get the opposite, because we see that sometimes. So we try to let's bring that down a little bit.
But I feel like once you've seen something like that, it then you can kind of do more of that when the other person's getting more agitated. You can get calmer.
It's great to go the other way.
Yeah. So.
But we've had rude people too that have said stuff, and he's seen me do this where I'm like, no. Yeah. And literally that's that, and they have no. They don't know how to react because they're expecting to be pushing me. Right. And I'm not really good at that. Because you got to remember, I'm Italian. Right. I'm also from New York. We're an aggressive sort sometimes. Yeah. And so I'm not afraid of that. Well, then when that happens, so somebody like trying to push me on something, and I'm being calm.
Well, you mean what you mean, kind of thing. Yeah.
And so if you're gonna push me for a discount or something that I don't think is,
or try to rush you,
or we can't do, or I'm putting it all in context. Mm-hmm. If it's something that we just can't do, or this or that, and you're pushing me, I'm okay just saying no and letting you leave. It's happened, and people are like,
Well, and it's one thing.
Can't do it. Sorry,
if you have prior experience with somebody, but
it's different when you got a relationship with somebody than when you're Joe shit the rag man that just shows up and wants 20% off a thing because he found some goofy site somewhere that sells random shit that's selling it for less.
Yeah, it's all about the approach.
Yeah, sorry, guy. Yeah. Jimmy's Treehouse Guitar Store is not going to be the place I'm going to match their price. Right. So sorry, fella. Right. We're calling it a day.
Exactly.
All right, well, we got to go anyway. Sorry we rambled on with that one, but that's a...
No, I mean, it was a good question. I mean, yeah.
See how much time you took from us, Quentin James?
It was probably something where he literally expected us to just do 1, 2, or 3 or whatever, and then,
Nah, man, we go off on tangents.
Yeah, and you never know which question's going to ignite the tangent.
Right.
Yeah.
You start the spark, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's call this a day. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.